Session 5 of Hope in Hard Times. Yesterday we looked at how the importance of seeing the purpose ahead helps us to go through the tough times. When Paul was writing to people who lived in a Greek-Roman world, he often used references to the games that they would be very familiar with. In Philippians 3, he refers to the image of a foot race. The Greek world would have been very familiar with that. In verse 13 he says, "I press on toward the goal to win the prize for which God has called me heavenward." So it's a picture of an athlete running a foot race. An athlete in the race will focus on the finishing line. If they focus on the fact that the track's a bit rough and that there's a couple of people ahead of them and there's a few not coming up behind them, they're not going to win the race. To win, they need to focus on the finishing line, get there as fast as possible. And sure, they might be aware that the track's a bit rough and there are other people around them, but that's not their focus. And that's the picture of how we cope. If we focus on our circumstances, they'll drag us down. We need to have a goal to focus on. So, what is that goal? It's going to be different for each of us. What we need to do is pray and ask God, what do you want of us during this time? If we're basically isolating, then maybe he wants us to learn something new. Maybe we have a particular skill and he wants us to use that skill to help other people at this time. Maybe this is an opportunity for us to spend more time with him and so grow our relationship. Maybe it's a time to reevaluate what really matters in our lives. Maybe if we've lost our job, it might be a time for us to rethink. Perhaps there's a different path for us to take. If we have a positive purpose, then we can put up with hardships. One of the most important things for the early church who suffered persecution was their care for one another. We need each other's support. We need to know that someone cares. Now that support might be a simple phone call, or it might be that we give a reasonable amount of money to help someone pay their bills, or it could be anything in between. God will use our particular skills and or our resources to help make a difference. So this is a good time for us to think, what am I good at? And how can I use that for others? Just knowing that someone cares can give others hope. There's the words of a pastor in Nigeria whose village was attacked by militants and many Christians were killed. They were sent food supplies by an organisation called Barnabas Ministries. And the pastor's reply was this: "What you have done has rekindled the faith in our people that indeed God cares for us and is always with us in our suffering." It gave them hope. My niece's little boy, an 8-year-old, won a sportsmanship award in Little Aths last year. He was running in a race and he was doing well when one of the other boys stumbled and fell over. So he stopped and he helped the boy to his feet before continuing the race. He had his eyes on the finishing line, but he was willing to care for someone else, even if it meant losing the race. And I think that's a picture for us. Have a goal, but never lose sight of the needs of others.
My soul finds rest in God alone, my rock and my salvation, a fortress strong against my foes, and I will not be shaken. Though lips may bless and hearts may curse, and lies like arrows pierce me, I'll fix my heart on righteousness, I'll look to him who hears me. Oh, praise him, hallelujah, my delight and my reward, everlasting, never failing, my Redeemer, my God. Find rest, my soul, in God alone, amid the world's temptations. When evil seeks to take a hold, I'll cling to my salvation. Though riches and from riches go, don't set your heart upon them. The fields of hope in which I sow are harvested in heaven. pleasure. My King has crushed the curse of death.